All right, let's go ahead and talk about one of the worst problems in golf, and it's the shank. If you've been playing golf for a long time, you've probably had a season where you got the shanks, and if you're just getting started in golf, this video will be good because it'll prepare you in case it does happen to you. And just to talk more specifically about a shank, let me show you up close here. But the shank, or the hosel, is this part of the golf club, right? Here's the sweet spot. There's good contact right there. And you can see we're only about 3/4 of an inch removed from hitting an all-out shank. And your typical shank from this view will fly to the right and probably about 80 yards with a slight curve traveling at about a 45-degree angle to the right. That's when you hit this part of the hosel. Here's the confusing part though, okay? A lot of you are shanking the ball and you're hitting this part of the hosel right here. And what this looks like is it looks like you've just topped the ball, okay? A true top actually occurs though more towards the middle or the center of the face, contact made about in the equator of the ball and towards the bottom of the club, okay? A top shank occurs right in the middle of the hosel, and some of you will shank the ball so bad at times you're hitting this part of the hosel, actually the other side of the club. This ball will shoot low and to the left. So you can see here from, anywhere about 3/4 of an inch from what is perfect impact, which you'll all do at times, but from here to here, you're going to get varying degrees of crazy shots, but really with the same problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss some drills that'll help you cure all three of those different types of shanks.
So here we have 3 live examples of all 3 of those shanks, okay? This first one here is the conventional shank, which is a ball that just goes low and to the right. And you can see as this player takes it back, the club works a little bit inside, which is pretty common when you're shanking the ball. And you notice here the line that I have drawn on his butt, you're going to notice him push off of that line. That's when the club starts to work out and his weight starts to work towards his toes. Okay, but once again, this is just your conventional shank here. Ball goes low and to the right. And he's hitting it on the right part of the hosel, okay, the part that's nearest the face. So here is what I would call a top shank. Okay, this player, when he hit this golf ball, thought that he had just topped the ball. But when you actually look at it in slow motion, you can see he's actually still shanking the ball. He's just catching it in the dead center of the hosel. This ball takes off just low and straight, and in his mind, he thinks that he topped the ball. All right, and your third version of that same swing, this is a pull shank, okay? And you're going to see why that happens. He's actually going to be hitting it on the left side of the shaft. So as he makes contact there, you notice where the shaft is compared to its original position, and you notice where the golf ball is. So this ball just went straight to the left, okay? But they're all 3 different variations of the exact same thing, of a player catching the hosel of the club, one that goes right, one that goes straight, and one that goes dead left.
So you can see here, in order to fix the shanks, you really need to get this intimate understanding of both what happens at contact, but now I'm going to show you what happens in a golf swing that's consistently shanking the ball. You can see at address, I've got the ball lined up with the sweet spot of the golf club. But when someone shanks the ball, they have this pattern of movement in their swing that consistently forces the club head outside of the target line, making contact on the shaft of the club. Some other things that'll occur when somebody's shanking the ball is their weight will usually get out on their toes. Okay? Their right leg and right foot will usually tend to force the golf club up and out too quickly, making contact consistently towards the shaft. So even though they started here and they had the club lined up in the middle and they had their body balanced, something is changing in that motion to get you to have impact out on the shaft of the club. So let me go ahead and show with you the best drill I know to fix this problem consistently. You're going to take 2 balls, okay? You're going to address the outside golf ball, the one that's out there, but I'm actually going to hit this inside ball. And you're going to see just at first, before you even go to do this drill, take some rehearsal swings where you feel this club traveling straighter back in the beginning, but then working in closer to you. So it goes from out here to in here. And you see as this club works in close to me here, I'm very balanced over my feet. My hands are close to my right thigh. And as I start to make contact here with this inside ball, I almost feel like I'm working more towards the toe of the club, staying totally away from the heel. And I want you to do the same drill and then actually hit balls with it.
So now we have an example of one of my juniors. She's a very good player, but she did get into a little pattern of shanking the ball. And the shank swing is on the left, and her doing this drill that I've prescribed is on the right. So one of the early checkpoints, if you are shanking the ball, is look at your halfway back position. You noticed in the shank swing, she takes the club inside. As she does the drill here, you notice the takeaway is a little straighter back, and that club stays in front of her hands. So that's one of the first things that you want to check as you go through this drill. But as we keep running through the golf swing here, and we get down into her downswing, you're going to notice here, if I take a line and I draw it just at the top of her left shoulder, you're going to see her hands are quite a bit outside of that line. And the one here, as she's doing this drill, you're going to see her hands and arms drop in a little closer to her body, which really helps in keeping that club head away from the hosel as you're making contact. And you see a big difference in the position of her left arm and in the distance of her hands to her right thigh. Okay, so these are all really key checkpoints to take a look at if you are shanking the ball. Here she's going to pier the ball, hit it nice and straight, and the other one over here, you're going to see it's going to catch the hosel and go low and to the right. So this next piece of footage is just to encourage you that a shank will even happen to the best players in the world. You can see by the caption, Hunter Mahan has made 22 birdies in 46 holes, and this is this year's Accenture Match Play, which he goes on to win. He also wins the Shell Houston Open later in the year, and he is the current FedEx Point money leader. So he's playing great golf, but you can still see that a shank can definitely happen at any time. So take heart. For those of you that are struggling with it, it'll even happen to the best players in the world here and there.